School jokes. Jane was sitting in anatomy class on day when her teacher asked her a question. He inquired, what grows to 10 times its original size when excited? Jane blushed and said that she didn't know. Jimmy raised his hand and said, I no. The pupil of the eye. The teacher replied, yes, very good Jimmy. The teacher turned to Jane and said, Jane, I have 3 things to say to you. 1. You have a very dirty mind. 2. You haven't been studying hard enough. And 3. You're going to be very disappointed. It jokes. Jesus enters a command, and the screen comes to life in a vivid display, an angelic chorus pouring from the speakers. Satan is astonished. How did he manage that? Trademark. God replies, you might have lost everything, but Jesus saves. Trademark. Military jokes. The commanding general is supposed to visit the unit, so, in order to appear snappy, the captain stations a private as a sentry outside the front door. Inform me immediately upon the general's arrival, the captain orders the private. Yes, sir. The private responds. An hour goes by, and the general hasn't arrived. The worried captain checks with the sentry. Did the general arrive? No, sir. Another 1/2 hour goes by and the captain, getting nervous, checks with the sentry again. Hasn't the general arrived yet? No, sir. This continues for 2 hours. Finally, the general arrives. Where the hell have you been? Snapped the private, the captain's looking for you. Jokes about men. What do you do with a bachelor who thinks he's God's gift to women? Exchange him. Gay jokes. As he drove along the highway, a guy kept seeing billboards with beautiful tanned people and the words, "Visit the Garden of Eden." His curiosity got the best of him and he turned off the road at the entrance to the place a few miles down the road. He went inside a building marked registration and saw an attractive woman sitting at a desk. Exactly what do you do here? He asked. It's quite simple, said the receptionist. This is a nudist camp. We take off all our clothes and commune with nature. Cool, said the guy, count me in. So he paid his membership fee, took off his gear and strolled off. As he walked along a path, he saw a big sign which read, "Beware of gays." A little further along he saw another sign which read the same thing, "Beware of gays." He continued walking until he came to a small clearing which had a bronze plaque set in the ground. He bent over to read the plaque and it said, "Sorry, you've had 2 warnings." Sex jokes. Q. What do you call a 90-year-old man who can still masturbate? A. Miracle. Web. Dark people jokes. What do you call 4 niggers, in a car, driving off a cliff? A. Waste. You could have fit 2 more in the trunk. Racist jokes. Q. How many Mexicans does it take to change a light bulb? A. Just 1. IT jokes. God called Bill Clinton, Boris Yeltsin and Bill Gates to come to a conference. And when they were all there, God said, "I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is that I'm really fed up with the way things are on Earth. So, I've decided to destroy it. The good news is that I'm giving you 1 week's notice." So, Bill Clinton called into session the joint houses of Congress and announced, "I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is there is a God. The bad news is that he's going to destroy the earth in 1 week." Boris Yeltsin called into session the Communist Party and announced, "I've got bad news and worse news. The bad news is that there is a God after all. And the Worse news is that he's going to destroy the Earth in 1 week. Bill Gates called all of his programmers, marketing experts and administrators together and announced, "I've got good news and I've got better news. The good news is that God thinks I'm one of the 3 most important men on Earth. The better news is that we don't have to fix Windows 95. Chuck Norris jokes. Q. What's the easiest way to a person's heart? A. Chuck Norris fist.